Happy Friday. It is Kira, your favorite trauma-informed money coach from Budget and Heal, where I help women to get out of debt and out of financial survival mode. So today I will be going over my last two paychecks for the month of August. I am late. I'm not going to lie. I am late, but I'm late on purpose because I wanted to make sure all of the savings that I had allocated were cleared. All of them cleared. I wanted to make sure all of the bills that I had automated, they're all cleared, right? I wanted to make sure when I come back, everything was clear so that I maintain integrity and walk in integrity, right? So my paycheck amount, the total amount what for the last two paychecks of August was $2,892.65. Now, if you guys recall, my first two paychecks in August were $4,440. So this one is slightly lower, but it's okay because we know how to manage a little, we know how to manage a lot, right? So I got paid on August 29th, right? And these two were paychecks 3 and 4. Now, I did get two checks, like I mentioned. Check number one was $2,298.36. And check number two was $594.33. And then I had $111.84 left over from the previous paycheck. Okay. Actually, it was not. It was 100. Okay, let me explain this little caveat. And these things happen when you're budgeting, so do not get discouraged. So what happened was I had a total of $552.37 left over. But because I have my savings, a few savings, actually, to be honest, I have all of my savings automated. So some savings came out, $500 worth of savings came out. And I think it was $500 worth of savings came out before the date that I thought it was going to come out, but it was okay because I had a buffer. I had money left over. So at the time of doing this, what I actually had in the account left over was $111,000. Yes, soon come. Let's go. Was $111.84. Okay. So that brings my total balance to $3,004.53. Now that balance is a combination of the first two paychecks, the last two paychecks of August, as well as the leftover money from the previous two paychecks. Okay. Now for my savings, I had my cousins. I'm sorry, no, not yet. I'm moving too fast. So for my savings, I had my birthday sinking fund. I told you guys I had put some money to the side for my cousin's birthday. So for my birthday, I also have a sinking fund, and I contribute $65.75 every single month to that. My vacation fund, $70. My wedding sinking fund, $500, and my Roth IRA, $437.50. Now, these things come out of my check every single month on automatically, auto pay. Okay. The total savings for the last two paychecks was $1,073.25. Okay. Now we are going over my recurring bills. Okay. These are my recurring bills. Rent. I paid $692.15. That is half my rent. I pay it bi-weekly. So every time I get paid, I pay my rent. Okay. All right. The internet. I paid the internet up for 6 months. $270 is 6 months because my plan is $44.99. So multiplied times 6 is like $269 and some change. So I paid the internet up for 6 months. And remember, from the first two paychecks in August, I paid my cell phone up for the year. I paid PSE&G up for the year. And next month, which is October, I'll be paying my life insurance up for the year. So I like to create room to breathe in my budget. And I'll go through that. I'll actually create a video to walk you through how I do that. All right, the internet, laundry, $10, tithes, $25, gas, $40, which I spent $15 in gas. I didn't really do much driving. Then let's say food. At 81.50, I still have a significant amount of money left over because I have been meal planning and cooking at home. I just fried some fish on this good old Friday. Okay, I just fried some fish on this good old Friday. And then Easy Pass 22.50. I paid that up. I paid that up for the month, 22.50. And then phone charger. I had to buy a charger because let me tell you guys what happened. I got my tub glazed and I couldn't be in the house for several hours or days. And so I went to my auntie house and I had to get a car charger because I was still running errands and, you know, things still got to move, still got to shake, right? So I was doing that. Nonetheless, Nonetheless, B, just leave. B, just go. Just go. There's nothing here for you, B, please. Please, just leave. Ah! That is not funny. That is not funny. Okay, I think it's gone. All right, so the recurring bills total, okay, $1,783.78, okay? And then we come to expenses. Now, you guys may have forgotten, or if you guys are new here, you probably have not heard. So when it comes to the paycheck budget, the way that we differentiate between recurring bills and expenses, recurring bills are bills that you pay every single month, like your rent or your mortgage, right? And then expenses would be like one-offs, like someone's birthday or brunch for someone, right? Like one-offs, things that you don't typically do or pay for every single month, okay? So for my expenses for August with my last two paychecks, I paid for the dentist, which was $59.26. Very interesting story, guys. So I do have a flexible savings account. I got my teeth bleached last month. I swapped out some silver fillings for white fillings, and the FSA, the flexible spending account. Oh my gosh. If you guys have that at your job during open enrollment, make sure you inquire about it because it will save you so much money. You can use it for your dental, your medical, overall your medical. You can also purchase sanitary napkins, and things of that nature, you know, tampons, stuff like that. You could purchase quite a few things. Sunscreen. I get the what is it? The Black Girl sunscreen. I love that sunscreen. They also have like a nice gloss. You can purchase quite a few things. Sunscreen, facial cleansers, like all types of stuff. So if you are not enrolled in your flexible spending account at your job, please enroll during open enrollment. You could contribute $25, $50. And remember, it's pre-tax. So they'll take the money out like that, like how the government take the money out for your taxes. They'll take the money out of your check before it reaches you, but it's pre-tax. So that'll lower your taxable income. Okay. So my total, what else? Oh, NACA. I paid $7.50 for NACA to run my credit, to pull my credit. And I don't know if, I'm sure I haven't told you guys, I applied for NACA last year. I was approved. And I still maintain the NACA process, but I have switched things a little bit because, you know, my life has changed in a certain way that I'm super happy and excited about. But things are a little different, but I still maintain the registration. Make sure I keep everything updated because you never know what opportunity can come, right? And you want to be prepared. And I'll be able to help other people, like clients that I have, in the event they desire to get a home and they want to go through the NACA process. I can help walk them through that. So I always try to make sure I keep everything updated so that I'm not only able to help myself, but also my clients, okay? Or future clients, that wants to buy a home through NACA. Okay. Then CVS, I spent $7.99. And for my cousin's birthday, I finally gave her her birthday gift, which was money, because she's one of those people, like, she don't really want much. She don't really want much. And I asked her 50,000 times, what do you want? She was like, I don't want anything. Just send me the money. So I was like, all right, cool. So I sent her $81.28. Now, I know that's a random number, but that's what was in my budget, okay? All right. So my total expenses were $156.03. And then we come down to debt. Okay, debt payments. I use my credit card. I do use credit card, guys. I do use credit cards, but I pay them off in full every single month before they are due. I don't play that, because it is one of the easiest things in the world is to get caught up in credit card debt. Easy. They make it so easy and convenient for you, but it is so hard to get out. So, my credit card was $39.10. I paid that off. And then you come over to the summary right here. Came over to the summary, and basically the income that I had for the last two paychecks, remember, it was a combination of check number 1, check number 2, and money left over from the first two paychecks from August. So that total was $3,004.53. Minus the recurring bills, $1,183.78. Expenses, $156.03. Debt, $39.10. Savings, $1,073.25, which left me with a total of leftover. This is leftover. $552.37, which is super cool. To have money left over at the end of a pay period is so good. And it feels so good, because I remember when I didn't. So now that everything's clear, what I typically do next is I turn it over to the cash compass, right? I'll call it cash compass or cash flow compass. And the way that this works is I just wrote down the categories, the same categories that were on the paycheck budget, same categories. I just transfer them here. So for example, rent, internet, laundry, ties, gas, food, Easy Pass, phone charger, credit card, birthday sinking fund, vacation sinking fund, wedding sinking fund, Roth IRA, dentist, NACA, CVS, cousin birthday. And then I write down the amount next to each one, right? And then I write down the date that each category is due. And then I write down the date that I paid each category. And then I make notes in the notes section. Then I write notes. So for example, with rent, I'll say, okay, I paid the rent from my checking account, right? And then internet, in the notes section, I wrote paid up for 6 months from my Allied checking account. So I didn't tell you guys, I now have two checkings. Let me make sure. I don't want to cap. Let me see. 1, 2. I have two checking accounts and two savings accounts. And let me tell you, this has been a game changer. The reason why I was initially hesitant about it, because I'm like everybody else, like, why would I want to have multiple bank accounts? But let me tell you something. Separating your money is key. It is clutch. Separating your money is so helpful, because you're able to see the trees from the forest. You're able to see, okay, this goes over here, this goes over here. You're not overspending, right? You're keeping everything separate and organized. So yeah, I do have a new checking account. And another thing I did, let me finish this first, and then I'll tell you the other huge thing that I have seen great improvement with. So another example from the notes section. Okay, with food, money was transferred to fund account. Okay, so that's what I was going to tell you, but since we're here, let's jump in. So I have a fund account with my credit union, right? It's a savings account, but I use it as a fund account because it doesn't pay you any money, like any interest. I get paid, I want to say, probably 1 cent a year on that account. So it doesn't pay any money, but it's always important to have options. You should never have all of your money at one bank account. Like, that's a no, right? So the thing is, I noticed last month I spent the significant amount of money on food. And when I say significant, $683 and some change on food. So I said, you know what? I could do way better than this. So what I did was I said, okay, let me try something different. So I took my fund account. My fund account has a debit card, right? But here's the thing about that debit card. You cannot use that debit card everywhere. You can only use that debit card in grocery stores, right? So I said, wait a minute. Let me just put my food money in the fund account, because this will ensure I'm only spending money from this account on food, not fast food, because it doesn't work in fast food. How do I know? I tried to use the fund account card in Chipotle and it did not go through. I tried to use it at another, like a juice bar. It did not go through. But when I went to ShopRite and Audi, the card went through. So I'm like, you know what? Let me set myself up to win by putting the food money from on this account. So it only goes through at stores at grocery stores, basically. So that's what I did, and it has been working really, really well. I also been meal prepping. Like I said, I've been meal prepping too. That has been very helpful. So yeah, now after going back to our cash flow compass, after everything has cleared, which it has, that's why I'm late putting up this video. It took me that long. So after everything's cleared, not when you're done writing it on a sheet, after everything has cleared from your account, then I check off each one. I check off each one to say, okay, this now everything is done. So that, you guys, is my last 2 paychecks for August. Now let me tell you what that did. In August, when I worked summer school session, it put me in a really good position, because I do have some really good systems, money systems, as far as saving money, investing and stuff like that. But who can't use extra money with the rate of inflation, how high food prices are? Who can't use any extra money, right? So going to work in summer school put me even more ahead than I was before I did it. Like now I have hundreds of dollars left over. Before, I was just zero based budgeting. I know where every dollar went, even if it went to food, $683 worth. But I figured out, I don't have to be so tight with the way in which I spend money. I can trust myself to try different things. And that's exactly what I've been doing. I tried something different when I put all of the food money in a fund account. That was something different for me. I tried something different when I opened up the other checking account. Now, what I didn't tell you guys was that checking account, that second checking account that I opened, the household sinking funds that I have, it's not on this. It wasn't on this pay because I paid the household sinking funds. I pay that with my first checks. So that'd be like the 15th of the month. I pay the household sinking funds from that paycheck. That's why it's not here. But I'm going to start allocating the household sinking fund money to that particular account, so that I'm just beginning the process of separating the money, right? Even with my checking account that has a debit card, not the fund account with the credit union, my checking account that has a debit card, I'm not even using that often anymore. I'm just trying to try different things, because we're in different times. Different things are happening, right? So you want to make sure you pivot. You want to make sure you pivot when necessary. You don't have to keep doing things the same way over and over. Try something different. Trust in yourself to try something different to see if that works, okay? I hope this video was helpful to you guys. I do want to be fully transparent with you guys. I am a trauma-informed money coach. I am also a registered nurse. And these paychecks and leftover money does not reflect my income from Budgeting Hill. Okay, this is strictly from my job, because I want to let you guys know that even people with regular jobs budget their money. Okay. I also wanted to mention to you guys that I am reading this book. I am rereading this book. I read it already. It is super. Let me tell you something, guys. Let me tell you something. This book I'm about to show y'all, it has been so helpful. Once I'm done finishing the book, once I'm done finished reading the book, I'm going to look at my investments and rearrange a couple of things. Nothing major, just things I've been was supposed to do. But I'm going to finally sit down to do them. I already started the process. I have my little workbook that I created. But I'm reading this book in our book club, Budget and Hill Theme Book Club. The book is called Cashing Out: Win the Wealth Gain by Walking Away. And a really cool thing about this book is it gives you a framework to cash out. And when they say cash out, they mean leave your job, right? And when we talk about the 15-year framework, I'm going to give you just a superficial version of what they talk about, but you have to get the book, I promise, even if you get it from the library. They talk about in the 15-year framework, years 1 through 5, when you were working, focus on paying off debt, right? Years 6 through 11, I believe years 6 through 11, they say focus on like basically creating skills and things like that outside of your job so that you're able to generate money outside of your job. And then years 11 to 15, you're basically planning your exit, right? You're in your investing after you pay off the debt. Years 1 through 5, you're now investing, right? So full transparency, I read this book before. I want to say I read it in 2021, 2022. I do follow this book framework. I did pay off my debt. The job I have right now, I got hired in 2019. I hit the ground running. As soon as I got there, I started paying off the debt. And after I finished paying off the debt, I increased my investments, but I never stopped investing. Okay. I never stopped investing. Even when I was drowning in debt, I still was investing. I was only investing $25 per pay, but I was still investing because I knew how important the habit of investing was. So now I invest like 2,000, I want to say it's like 2,000, 67, 18, 19, 20, 21, a little bit over to between 2,000 and 2,100. I invest that every single month. And my desire is to invest more. I promise. Because the way that your money compounds when it's invested, the way that your money flips, like if you're from the urban area, we know what flipping money means, right? From a legal perspective, of course, right? But when you see your money flipping like that legally, like, guys, I was negative $40,000 in 2020. I'm almost at 200K in 2025. I paid off the debt in 2022. So you're talking about a 5-year span from paying off debt, taking 3 years to pay off the debt. I finished paying off the debt November 15th, 2022. From November 15th, 2022, I made sure I had my emergency fund. After I made sure I had my emergency fund stacked up, then I started investing heavily. I went from $25 every 2 weeks to almost between 2,000 and 2,100, right? Every month. I promise you guys, you cannot save your way to financial freedom. You have to invest, okay? Now, I'm going to end this video because this video has been long enough. I just wanted to be consistent, right? I want to be consistent. I started this journey with you guys. I want to be consistent with showing up. I wanted to catch up and let you guys know what I was doing, but I know that your time is precious. So I am going to end this video right here, and I will be back in a few days to go over my first paycheck for September, which I'm not going to lie, I got it already. I got my first paycheck for September, and I'll go over my September budget via paycheck, my first paycheck with you guys in a few days. I hope you come back. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. And also tell me what you would like to know from me, what you would like for me to go over. I'm fully transparent, but I will not discuss things that I do not do or that I have not done. Right. And if I ever do that, I will give you guys a disclaimer like, look, I never did it before. It's something I'm thinking about doing. OK. All right, y'all. Have an amazing weekend ahead. And I promise it gets better. OK. All right, y'all. Later.